Hello. Hi there. It's your woman, Cornisha Syrup. I want to talk today about the importance of the long video because I kind of talked about it a little bit in the other long video I had before, the day before this one, I think. But today I wanted to go into the topic of the long video and why it's important and why you should care. So I started making long videos about at the age of 372,000 years. And back then, it was about 8 billion years ago. The Earth, Earth's crust hadn't formed at that time. It was still, it was still kind of shaky. It was a lot of lava back then, and so you couldn't put your camera phone down and film like you can nowadays with a stable Earth crust. And so it was harder to make the longer videos. So there's a lot more of the short form videos back then. And it is, of course, remember, it's before the dinosaurs were invented by the atheists to get rid of religion. Uh, because even back then, there wasn't any. There was almost no creatures on Earth, as far as I remember, except for the several of the imimi. I remember they're called imimimorons. They were called imimimorons. They came through a, a shaft that would come out of the lava, and they would shoot out waves uh, of psionic power to disable a lot of the long form videos. And that's why back then there wasn't a whole lot of thinking going on with the videos involved. The videos were just, they were kind of just really dumb and small, and they were just for people who hadn't quite evolved their brain yet. And that's why we weren't evolved then. It took, well, as humans, right? That was before I was a human. I was more like a lava human back then, and that was when those imumons they had to try to control our society of lava people, and they did it obviously through the psionic waves, as I talked about before, and they disabled all our long form recording equipment. And so you can imagine it was very difficult to fight them off. But luckily, we showed them that we could make intelligent and incredible strides in our society and our technology. So we started using icicles against them, and they didn't like that because ice represented a lot of racism, and they didn't like racism, and that was apparently their worst thing. Their vulnerability was ice because they weren't here legally. They were on Earth illegally, according to the galactic patrol officers, but and also according to the icicles. The icicles didn't like them. And back then, by the way, icicles could talk. And they still can if you listen closely, but usually the icicles don't talk too much. So a lot of people don't know this. But icicles were actually the prerequisite for long form videos. And we're talking about, more than 3 minute long videos that, you know, that TikTok's all about, and the reels on YouTube and on Instagram. But now we can have videos that are longer than 3 minutes, and obviously that's very hard for a lot of people to understand because a lot of people don't want to commit their time to the video, but A lot of people don't understand that if you waste hours of your day on these videos, and they have to be at least 4 minutes long, then you realize that your life is more meaningful if you listen to someone talk about something that they probably know almost nothing about, like me, and then you start to realize, wow, I am wasting a lot of time, and I'm wasting my life watching these stupid and awful videos that don't mean anything, right? And and that's why long videos, I am saying, are so useful, because they're a way to trick people into believing that they're smart by making them sit or lay down on their bed and watch your videos for long periods of time. And then they get mad at you for wasting their time, but it's not our fault that we're wasting your time. It's because you don't appreciate how wonderful it is to waste time, and how much you learn by wasting time, and how much you can accomplish by not doing meaningful things like doing your taxes, or going out and making a cardboard sign and saying that you care about the next big thing that you have to argue and scream about on the street. I mean, just the other day, well, actually, that was a while ago, because the Palestine war kind of stopped. So the people went over to one of the places that they thought were against them, and they were always there like once a week or twice a week with their signs. I haven't seen them for a while, actually, the Palestine people, and it's really sad, because I really liked how they just yelled and screamed about whatever was going on over there. Who knows, right? But they said free Palestine, and I thought that was really interesting. But I don't know what that means. So I asked one of them, or actually I asked all of them, what does free Palestine mean? And it said, well, uh, they said free Palestine means free Palestine. And then I could tell that they were thinking, because they were a bunch of these people who didn't have a gender. They didn't have a gender. And that confused me, because I'm a woman, and I'm really scared when people say, I don't know what my gender is, because, like, obviously you know what your gender is. Look at you. Just look in the mirror. I mean, if you look at me on the street, right, you think, wow, that's a woman. That's quite a voluptuous woman. I want to get to know her. I want to take her out to a dinner. I want to tell her how ugly she is, and how much makeup she's wearing, and how it's really distracting me. And why are you wearing a bikini while we're out on the beach? Like, why would you do that as a woman? Wear a bikini when you could wear a, a bed sheet over your head, and then you could also wear a barrel over your banana that you have in your pants. As a woman on the beach, that's exactly what we wear. And what I don't understand is that people don't quite seem to argue these points as intelligently and as articulately as they could if they were in a meaningful place in their life. And that's why long videos bring the peace of mind that you need to have into the long form videos that you make on YouTube. And that's why a lot of people go to your channel. Now, I know the people who watch this are really successful video makers, because I've seen all their videos and all my subscribers, and I know exactly all of you, who you are, and I've researched, I looked into you, and all 5 billion, quadrillion, sextillion of you, and I go to your pages every day and I say, thank you for making the long videos and the short videos, and maybe even the medium videos. I don't know about that. I do have some issues with the medium videos, because the medium videos are kind of, I don't know, they're not very uh, gender uh, appropriate. right? They're more for diet appropriation. Diets are appropriate for the medium videos, but not the short or the long ones. But the long ones are pretty good if they're short, right? Because if they're short, then we can make a big deal out of them, right? And you would know that, right? But you would know that because you know that it's not as big of a deal if they're long, and even if they're short, you could put them inside a package, right? And then you could tell everyone, I'm a long boy, everybody knows it. Everybody knows I'm a short boy. Everybody knows what about it. Everybody knows that I'm okay. Yeah, okay. I wish they were telling me the facts. And they never tell me the facts. But it's okay. We can give them the peace of mind that they need. And we'll make sure that they have their food and they'll have all the people that they need when they're running from the massive video that's coming into frame. And that's why I'm always over here when I'm making the video. I go over there so that the video isn't as long as the short ones, right? Because I've been accused. Now you wouldn't know this, but I've been accused of making the poop inside of a wrap. Could you believe that? I put a poop inside of the wrap, and then they said, "Oh no, you didn't. You didn't do that. You put it inside of the bologna." And I was like, "Are you kidding me? I put it in the bologna. You put it in the bologna." And I was like, "I didn't put it in the bologna. Why would I do that? Why would I put bologna in the poop? It's so ridiculous. I put bologna in my ass, and then I say, oh boy, you better watch out. You better not tout. You already know what I know, what I know, what I know what you're doing today. So remember the 3 points I made in this video. Don't do the babas. Don't feel up on the shimbies. Over here you see the shimbies right there. You see these are 2 shimbies. And then remember, when you're drinking a pot of boiling semen, you need to honk your horn and say, hey, you're just as much of a woman with a mustache as you are a woman with a piece of twig in your eye. And then people will take you seriously, like they take me seriously. That's why I've got so many billions and quadrillions of subscribers and people liking all my stuff. And people are always like, when is Cornisha putting up the next video? I need to know when it's going to come out. And I'm like, I can't tell you. That's for me to know and for you to know and for me to find out, right? And so hopefully you'll find out in the next video why the long videos are as short as they are. I'm so sorry this is a short one. It's only like 5 seconds or something. But I couldn't dilute it because I live in a time-space continuum that isn't the same as yours. And so it's kind of fluctuating baloney bambo, and you know what that means, right? You would know because you're so smart. But I just wanted to come out here and show you. See, you have to look. Woo, trees! Wow, those aren't trees, by the way. They're fake. I painted all of this in the background, so you thought it was real. So anyway, hopefully you now you know, and now hopefully you'll make all of the short videos that are more important than the long ones. And in fact, make the medium ones not about diets, but about why I'm wrong, and then about why I'm so stupid and ugly and fat. And I'm a gay woman. I'm a gay, stupid woman. I should be put in a jar and put all over the mayonnaise, right? Yeah, sure. Okay, thank you. Have a good day. I love you so much. Thank you. Oh, and by the way, remember, don't put your nose to the grindstone.